My fiancée told me not to come because I'd lower the vibe. She said, "My friends don't want a warehouse guy at their party." I agreed, sat alone in our apartment, and let her go without a fight. That's when I realized who she really chose, and something happened tonight that made me see my entire relationship differently. I'm not even sure how to process it yet, but I need to get this out somewhere. I work at a truck parts warehouse. It's honest work, decent pay, nothing glamorous. I've been saving up for months to afford the engagement ring I bought Kaya. Plus, I cover our rent on this nice downtown apartment because I wanted her to feel comfortable while she builds her career in marketing. Today was a long shift, double overtime because 2 guys called out sick. I was looking forward to getting home, taking a shower, and changing into something nice for Beckett's birthday party tonight. Beckett is Kaya's best friend from college. Real estate broker, drives a Tesla, always talks about his portfolio and investment opportunities. The kind of guy who asks what you do for work and then immediately changes the subject when you answer. When I got home around 6, Kaya was already dressed up, looking incredible in this black dress I'd never seen before. I kissed her hello and headed toward the bedroom to get ready. She stopped me at the hallway. "Actually, Sterling, don't worry about getting ready tonight." I turned around, confused. "What do you mean?" "Beckett specifically asked me not to bring you to his party. He said having you there would make the vibe awkward for his other friends." I just stood there for a second, trying to process what she'd just said. He doesn't want me there. It's not personal. It's just, different crowds. His friends are all in finance and real estate and that world. You'd probably be bored anyway. The way she said it, so casual, like she was doing me a favor by excluding me from her social life. "Okay," I said. She looked surprised. "Really? You're not upset?" "No, I'm not upset." I wasn't lying. I wasn't upset. I was something else entirely, something I couldn't name yet. I kissed her forehead and told her to have fun. She gathered her purse and jacket, told me she'd probably be back late, and left. After she was gone, I sat on our couch, the one I'd saved up for 6 months to buy, and tried to figure out what I was feeling. Then I noticed her backup purse on the kitchen counter. She'd switched bags but forgotten to move something over. I was going to text her about it when I saw an envelope sticking out of the side pocket. Inside was a card addressed to Kaya, my queen, in Beckett's handwriting, and a key, not our apartment key, a different key entirely. I'm still sitting here holding it, trying to make sense of everything. The way she delivered that message like she was reading lines from a script, the dress I'd never seen before, the casual dismissal of my feelings about being excluded. I keep thinking about that phrase, different crowds. When did I become the wrong crowd for my own fiancé's life? Edit. Some of you are asking if I'm going to confront her tonight. Honestly, I don't know what there is to confront. She made her priorities pretty clear. Edit 2. For those wondering about the key, I have no idea what it goes to, but I'm starting to think I don't want to know. Update 1. I didn't sleep last night. Instead, I did something I never thought I'd do. I packed up my entire life in 4 hours. After finding that key, I couldn't just sit there anymore. I started looking around our apartment with different eyes. The furniture I'd bought, the security deposit I'd paid, the lease that was in my name because my credit score was higher. Around midnight, I called my buddy Marcus, who has a moving truck for his side business, told him I needed an emergency move and I'd pay him double. He was at my place by 12:30 a.m. By 4 a.m., everything that belonged to me was gone. The couch, the coffee table, the 65-inch TV I'd bought for our movie nights, the bed frame, even the good cookware. I left behind anything that was clearly hers or that I couldn't prove ownership of. I also took back the engagement ring. It was sitting in her jewelry box where she always kept it, and I'm still making payments on it. $8,000 I borrowed against my 401k because I wanted to get her something special. Around 3 a.m. while I was packing, I remembered that Kaya's car has a dash cam that records audio inside the vehicle. I'd installed it for her safety after her car got broken into last year. She always forgets it's there. I checked the footage from tonight on my phone. What I heard made everything clear. She picked up Beckett from his place before the party. The conversation started normal, but about 10 minutes in, Beckett said, "I'm glad you finally uninvited the warehouse guy." These people work hard to build their careers. They don't need to spend their evening making small talk with someone who moves boxes for a living. Kaya laughed. Actually laughed. I know, right? I love Sterling, but he just doesn't fit into this world. It's better for everyone if he stays home. You're better than that situation, Beckett continued. You deserve someone who can match your ambition, not hold you back from the life you want to build. I know. I'm working on it. Good. Tonight is about people who understand success. Let the delivery boy stay home and watch TV. They both thought this was hilarious. I sat in my empty apartment listening to the woman I'd planned to marry casually discuss how I wasn't good enough for her life, not in a moment of anger or frustration, but as a simple fact they both accepted. By 5 a.m. I was at Marcus's place with all my stuff in storage. I called our landlord, who I've known for 2 years, and who's always liked me, and explained that I needed to break the lease early, since it was in my name and I'd never been late on rent. He was understanding about it. I also called the utility companies and canceled the electricity and water service effective immediately. Again, all in my name, all my responsibility. Now I'm sitting in a 24-hour diner, drinking coffee and trying to figure out what comes next. My phone has been buzzing all morning with missed calls from Kaya. She must have gotten home around 2 a.m. expecting to find me asleep, ready to hear about her amazing night with people who matter. Instead, she found an empty apartment and a life that no longer revolved around funding her social climbing. I haven't answered the calls yet. Part of me is curious what she'll say, but mostly I just feel peaceful. Like I finally stopped carrying a weight I didn't realize was there. The crazy part is, I'm not even angry. I'm grateful. She showed me exactly what she thought I was worth, and I finally listened. Edit. For those asking about the legality of taking my furniture and canceling utilities, everything I removed was purchased by me, and all the services were in my name. I left behind anything that was hers or that we'd bought together. Edit 2. Several people have asked about the key. I still have it. I'm honestly afraid to find out what it opens, but I think I already know. Update 2. I finally answered her calls yesterday. Well, one of them anyway. Tuesday night around 2 a.m., my phone rang for probably the 20th time. This time I picked up, but I didn't say anything. I just let her talk. Sterling, where are you? Where is everything? The apartment is completely empty and the power is out and I don't understand what's happening. I could hear the panic in her voice, real panic. I know you're there. I can hear you breathing. Please just talk to me. I don't know what I did wrong. I was driving on the interstate, heading to my new place across town. Just a small one-bedroom near the warehouse district. Nothing fancy, but it's mine. I'm sorry about what I said in the car, she continued. Beckett was being an ass and I just went along with it. I didn't mean any of that stuff. You have to know I didn't mean it. That's when I finally spoke. I sent the recording to your brother Rylan, and your parents. I thought they should know what you really think about the man you were going to marry. Silence. You. What? The dash cam, Kaya. Remember? The one I installed in your car for safety? It records audio. I heard every word you and Beckett said about me tonight. More silence. Then, Sterling, you don't understand. It's complicated. Beckett has these friends who could really help my career, and I hung up. An hour later, Rylan called me. Her older brother, who I've always gotten along with. He was pissed, but not at me. Dude, I just listened to that audio file. I had no idea Kaya was like that. I'm so sorry, man. That's not how our family raised her. He told me that when their parents heard it, their mom cried. Their dad, who's a mechanic himself, said he was ashamed of how she'd talked about honest work. She's been calling everyone, trying to explain it away, Rylan said. But there's no explaining that recording. You seem like you handled this with a lot more class than I would have. Yesterday I got a text from Kaya. Beckett offered to help with my rent until I figure things out, but his friend's situation fell through. I don't have anywhere to go. Please, can we talk? I didn't respond. Last night, Rylan called again with an update that honestly made me glad I'd sent that recording to people who needed to hear it. So that Beckett guy? Turns out he's broke. Like, seriously broke. His real estate license got suspended 6 months ago for some shady dealings, and he's been living off credit cards and investor money from people he's been scamming. What? Yeah. And get this, he's been asking Kaya questions about your finances, your savings, your work schedule, whether you'd be interested in investment opportunities. She thought he was just being friendly. My blood went cold. I'd mentioned to Kaya a few months ago that I had some money saved up from all the overtime I'd been working. Money I was planning to use for our wedding. He was setting up some kind of real estate scam with your money as the target, Rylan continued. When Kaya lost the apartment and couldn't play the successful girlfriend role anymore, he dropped her immediately, told her he couldn't be associated with her drama right now. So the man who convinced my fiancée that I wasn't good enough for her life was actually a broke con artist who was planning to steal my life savings. The universe has a sick sense of humor sometimes. This morning I walked into work feeling lighter than I have in months. My supervisor commented that I seemed different, more focused. I told him I'd made some changes in my personal life that were helping me sleep better. That's not entirely true. I sleep great now, but it's not because of changes I made. It's because of changes I stopped making. I stopped trying to be someone else's version of successful. I stopped funding someone else's idea of the life I should want. I'm not dating anyone new. I'm not looking to date anyone new. I'm just existing in my own space, doing work I'm good at, saving money for things I actually want. Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is just stop. Stop trying to earn your place in someone else's story and start writing your own. Edit. A few people have asked if I feel bad about how this affected Kaya financially. The honest answer is no. She made her choice about what my work was worth and what I was worth. These are just the consequences of that choice. Edit 2. Rylan told me yesterday that Kaya had to move back in with their parents. She's not happy about it, but their mom said it might help her remember some values she seems to have forgotten. Final update. This is my final update. Mostly because I keep getting messages asking how everything turned out. The short answer is, better than I ever imagined. I've been living in my one-bedroom apartment near the warehouse district for 6 months now. It's nothing fancy, about half the size of the place Kaya and I shared, but it's completely mine. No one here thinks I need to apologize for how I make my living or pretend to be someone I'm not. Work has been good, really good. Without the stress of trying to finance someone else's lifestyle, I've been able to focus on getting better at my job instead of just surviving it. Last month I got promoted to shift supervisor, which comes with a decent raise and better hours. I've also been going to the gym consistently for the first time since college. Turns out when you're not spending every evening walking on eggshells around someone's mood, you have energy for other things. 3 weeks ago, I ran into Kaya at the grocery store. She looked smaller somehow. Not physically, but like she'd shrunk into herself. She was with her mom, which struck me as odd for a Saturday afternoon, until I remembered Rylan mentioning she'd moved back home. She saw me before I saw her, and for a moment, I thought about turning around and leaving. But I'd been shopping there for months, and I wasn't about to change my routine because she was uncomfortable. "Sterling," she said when our paths crossed in the cereal aisle. "Hi." "Hey, Kaya." Her mom gave me a sad smile and kept walking, clearly trying to give us space we didn't need. "You look good," Kaya said. "Really good. Like, healthy." "Thanks. I feel good." She fidgeted with her shopping list. "I know you probably don't want to hear this, but I owe you an apology. A real one, not the defensive stuff I was saying before. I waited. I was ashamed of you, and that was wrong. Not because you weren't good enough, because I wasn't. I got so caught up in wanting to be someone else that I forgot who you actually were. A good man who loved me and worked hard and deserved better than what I gave him." She paused, looking like she wanted to say more. "I heard about Beckett," I said. "The financial stuff." She nodded. "He never cared about me. I was just useful to him until I wasn't. Kind of ironic, right? I threw away someone who actually loved me for someone who was using me. I'm sorry that happened to you. And I meant it. Not because I wanted her back or because I thought she deserved my forgiveness, but because I genuinely felt bad that she'd learned such a hard lesson about people's motives." "Are you seeing anyone?" she asked. "No. I'm focusing on myself right now. That's probably smart. I'm doing the same thing, sort of. Living with my parents at 28 has been humbling, but I needed to remember some things about who I used to be before I got so focused on who I thought I should become. We talked for maybe 5 more minutes. Nothing deep, nothing complicated. Just 2 people who used to share a life, being polite in a grocery store. When I got home that night, I realized something had shifted. For months after I left, part of me had been carrying around this low-level anger about how things ended. Not rage, just disappointment and hurt that would surface at random moments. After seeing Kaya, that was gone. Not because she apologized, though that was decent of her, but because I could finally see our whole relationship clearly. She hadn't been evil or deliberately cruel. She'd just been someone who didn't know what she wanted, who got caught up in other people's definitions of success, who mistook love for convenience, and I'd been someone who cared more about keeping her than respecting myself. We were both playing roles that didn't fit, trying to build something on a foundation that was never solid. The difference is, when it fell apart, I learned to be comfortable with who I actually am. She's still figuring that out. I don't wish her badly. I don't wish her well either. I just don't think about her much anymore, which feels like the healthiest possible outcome. These days, I come home from work to an apartment that's exactly how I like it. I cook dinner for one and don't have to negotiate what to watch on TV. I go to the gym when I want to, hang out with friends when I want to, and spend money on things I actually value. It's a quiet life, maybe even a boring one by some people's standards. But it's mine, completely and honestly mine, in a way that my life with Kaya never was. I used to think love meant being willing to change yourself to keep someone. Now I understand it means finding someone who doesn't need you to change in the first place. That person might not exist, and that's okay too. Being alone and authentic beats being coupled and performing any day of the week. The right person, if they're out there, will appreciate the guy who works hard at an honest job and doesn't apologize for it. If they don't exist, well, I've learned I'm pretty good company for myself. Either way, I'm not worried about it anymore. For the first time in years, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Edit. This really is my final update. I'm not checking this account much anymore. To anyone dealing with something similar, trust your instincts about how you deserve to be treated. You're probably right the first time. Edit 2. Thanks for all the support over these months. This community helped me see the situation clearly when I was too close to it. Sometimes you need strangers on the internet to tell you that you're not crazy for expecting basic respect from someone who claims to love you.